query the database based on certain criteria. For example, can you show me the customer name, which the customer, can you show me the records which sorted by customer name? Okay, this is one of the queries. Right. So the database management system will show you the result. Okay, and because the tables contains many fields, I just want to see the customer name and the contact number. Just that's all, like a contact list. So you can just query the database very simple. So query basically is question and answer. So as I mentioned, the in-class test is all MCQ, but you still need to work on the file, which is a database file, okay, to navigate to, for example, generate some query. The query will send you a result. The result, based on the result, then you find the best answer to choose. So in order for you to answer the question, even though it's MCQ, you will still need to work on the file itself. Okay? So how to work on it, yeah, it's still important. But of course, you don't need to create a database in order to do it. A query is one of the ways that we can easily ask you a question. Okay? So, if you have opened up the WLA 2-1, this is the database, okay? The tables, we have seen this. So let's do a very quick recap. Okay, this is a customer table, all the field, we have 8 customers here. The maintenance contract table with the information, the service table, and the different types of tabs that is installed. Okay, the tab type, and then the venue that is run by each of the customer. So we have 6 different tables here, and the tables are connected. You go to the database tool, you can take a look at the relationship. All are connected using the primary key and foreign key, one-to-many relationship for most of the tables. So this is a relationship. The forms are also pre-created. Okay, last week we did this, but we didn't spend too much time on the aesthetic part because this one there's nothing to test you, okay, for the purpose of the in-class test. Because the aesthetic, it takes a lot of time for you to adjust and make it very nice and beautiful, change the color and so on. So the one, anyway, you don't need to submit the file. So you only need to answer the questions. So aesthetic part, actually I skip it. But main thing you need to know is this is the main form for each of the customer here. And each customer run more than one venue. So the venue in this table format here is a sub-form. Alright? And of course the tab type is a very simple form here. So this is what we did for the past 2 weeks. So today what we need to do is to generate queries. So we have a customer here. We want to generate query based on the customer list. So let's look at the question requirements. Alright, how do we create a query? So this is a scenario, okay, that they want you to generate a contact list based on the data in your tables. So they want you to generate a query okay, to show contact list for each customer and each of the venue that they operate. Okay, so over here we can see that they want you to show the name of the customer, first name, last name of the contact person, then the direct line. For each of the venue, show the venue name, the suburb it belongs to, the state, and the contact person and the phone number. But there's one criteria here is to sort based on the suburb. So this is called a select query. I want to select a particular records from the database, sort based on the suburb and show the result. So how do we create the query? So you go to the database here. To create a query is similar to what we did in the past. You create a table, you create a form. So you go to the create tab here. There is a query design. There's a query wizard, but we are not going to use a wizard. We are going to use a design because this one is a graphical, there's a graphical user interface. Very simple, just click, click, click. Okay? So we will use a query design. When you click on the query design, you will come up with the query design view. Okay, let me close this one. Okay, let me go back to the create here. Query design. This query is important for the entire except I think the query is the most important part. Very easy for us to set questions to ask. So let me make sure that all of you have the file ready. I find the computer very slow also. It's i7 some more. Yeah. Sometimes we work faster than the computer. Very frustrating. Huh? Yeah, that's why the first time you run. One good thing about this computer here is every weekend, right? I think every week, not every day. Every weekend they will delete everything, reinstall everything automatically. Why? Precautions in case that the virus or someone downloads certain file, copyright the file, whatever, then refresh everything. So all the software all refresh also, run and install again. Yeah, one bad thing about it is very troublesome every time. It'll take a while. Okay? Who is still getting the file ready? Who is not ready yet? Okay, I will wait for you. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot follow. Huh? Listen, your computer got problem. Slowly now, okay. Those who are ready, pray for others. Okay, yeah, so for those who just came in, right, why I started the learning, the lab activities first for the access is because we need to complete the access for your in-class test and the Excel for your in-class test. So today I must complete the Microsoft Access. Then I can go through the lecture content. The lecture content for week 6 is related to Excel, business analytics. So I want to complete the Access first, then we go through the Excel, and Excel is much more important, okay, in your in-class test. There will be more weightage on Excel than Access, right? Okay. So now get your file ready. We are actually back to topic 4, our WLA. Okay, so we work on the WLA 2-1, the data file, and we are creating queries. So this is why we don't do queries. Okay. So to create a query, you open up the file WLA 2-1, you go to the Create tab, the Query Design. When you click on Query Design, you will come to this window. Let me close it. Create Query Design. Already? Okay, so when you click on the query design, you will see this window. So there is the tables. There is in this database, we have 6 different tables here. But in this query, what we are interested in is the field in these two tables, customer table and venue table, because we want to show a contact list based on each customer, each venue, and we want to sort this entire list based on the suburb. These two tables are related by the primary key and foreign key. So we are interested in these two tables, the field that is in these two tables. So go back to the query design. We are interested in customer. So you click the customer, edit in this design, query design. Choose the venue, edit in. That's all. We only need these two tables. We can expand this so that it shows all the fields here. So these two tables are related, one customer to many venue. Below here are the output field. Later we'll come back to this output field. So add these two tables. For these two tables, we are interested in the field for each of the table. So for the customer, we want the name first, last, and the direct. So when we go to this query design, in the customer table, we are interested in the CNAME field. So we want to output this in the query result. So double click on this field, it will go down to the table here. Then we will choose double click on first, last, and direct. So in customer table, we want these four fields to be displayed. For venue table, okay, we would like to see the venue. So we go to venue table, double click on the venue, it will go down. Here, so this is from the venue table, the venue field. Then the suburb, state, contact, and phone. Okay? So we have all the fields down here. These are what we will output after we generate the query. So this is the table that we're interested in. We didn't display all the fields. We only select a few that we want to display. Okay? After you have indicate all those fields that you want to show. Actually, the checkbox is all checked here because we only put a selected field. Then you can run the query. How do you run the query? There's this thing here called run. So that's where we run the query, the exclamation mark. So when you click on run, the query result is generated. Let me close this one. Okay, so the query result is generated. You can see these are from customer table. The rest are from venue table. And we can see that, yes, the suburb here, you can see the arrangement is the Carlton's, New Farm, and so on. Okay, so this is the query result. It's different from table. The table, each table, this is a customer table, this is a venue table. But this query result include the combine both table, customer and venue together and list out one by one. We can see from here that Eurobar has two venue. So Eurobar has been repeated 2 times. That is actually correct, right? Okay, so we go back to the design view for the query. There's one criteria that I haven't set, which is sort on suburb. So meaning that based on this particular field, I want to sort them. Okay, so I go to the query, under the suburb here, the field, you can see the 3rd row is a sort. So I go to the 3rd row, the box here, I can click the drop down list, I can sort them based on ascending order. Okay, so that's a criteria, which means that the result that I generate from this query will be sorted based on the suburb. So now I run the query one more time. You can see it is still the same set of records, but now it is sorted based on the suburb. Okay, so that is a query result, simple, done. Okay, so I go back to query design. Okay, so this one is, so all the steps are all here. Okay, Yeah, done. Okay, I wait for some of you to get this completed. Then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, right? The first query. Yes. Okay. Restart the computer. Restart the original. My goodness. This one is scary. Which one? WLK, which one? Yeah, and then the found in WLK. Download lah. Download, wait, you download. Like, you know, wait, download. Use which one? The Chrome or? Let's use Chrome. Okay. Okay. So for those that has technical issue one later, you try to catch up. Okay. Okay. Let me move on. But anyway, the steps are all inside here. Actually, what I show you just now are all the steps here. Alright? So don't have to worry that you cannot follow because the steps are all here. As long as you can understand what I show on the screen. So next thing, okay, so just now what we did, yes, we want you to sort in ascending order for the suburb. We have just done this. Next one, what we want you to do is try to modify the query. So they want the list of venue for the state of Victoria. So meaning that they want the venue that is belongs to Victoria only. So what we are going to do is under the V state field, we just want to enter VIC for the criteria. So that is the criteria area. So we add one more filter or one more criteria. So we go to the design. Over here, the state, the venue, for the venue table, the V state, there is this criteria field just below the checkbox. What we need to type is just type VIC. Okay, so these are the two fields that we have specified the criteria. So now, since I type in VIC here, when we run the query, it will only show me those results that belong to the state VIC. Okay, that's all. So that is the so-called the criteria that we set. Sort according to the suburb in ascending order, but showing only those states that belong to VIC. Okay? So we're done with this part. Next one is to save the query as contact list. So save the query. You go back to the design here, the query here. What you need to do is just right click on the tab, save the query and key the query name as contact list. Click OK. Yeah, it will be saved inside. You can view the data set again over here. So, save the query. Right click, save, and put the query name as contact list. Simple. Okay, so what's so good about a query like this? So let's say now, so we know that there are each customer, that each venue. I just go to the venue table here. I just add one more, okay, under the thirsty work. The customer CID, I put thirsty work. The venue, I put Alibaba. Address 123 Alexandra Road. Okay, the suburb, I put Alexandra. Okay, but the state I put VIC. The purpose of putting this is because later I want to show that it actually comes out a result. The postal code My favorite 4-digit, 4896. Okay, 0398765432. The manager, handsome code. Done. I have added this particular record. I just added this. I go to the contact list. But of course, I need to refresh the data. I have entered the data in the database. The contact list, I save the query design. I refresh, I can see the Alibaba here. It's under the state VIC. So meaning that the query, right, is a design. Every time if you have a new record added, record deleted, you refresh it, the query will query again the data table that you have in the database and give you an updated result list. Okay? So that is the function of a database management system. You create a query, the design. It's just a design. The result always change based on what changes you have in the database. Okay, let me click the design view for you. Okay, for some of you are still trying to get this. So the rest of the field is very simple. We just add in, and then the criteria is only for these two. Okay, so let's carry on. Simple. You're very good. Can follow very well. Okay, so we are done with the select query. So the select query, by the name of it, very simple. You just select the data to display, and you specify a particular criteria and maybe some sorting criteria. That's all. Done. Okay. Next one is the dynamic query. So what does the dynamic query means? Venue by state. So what we have here is we want to show the record based on a particular state. Okay, so you can download this WLA2-2. Okay, just download WLA2-2. WLA2-2. Download. Run. Okay. In fact, you download WLA2-2, it shows you the answer for WLA2-1. So this is how you can do your revision also. When you work on it, then you download the next file, then it has the answer. So there's a contact list here. Okay? But actually the contact list, this answer is wrong. Okay? For those who have a very sharp eye, tell me where went wrong. The answer is wrong. Is here. The sorting, the answer they put at V state. By right, the sorting is on the suburb, not at the V state. It's at the V suburb. Okay, so this answer is wrong, but don't worry. Just let it wrong. No problem. Okay. Anyway, we are not going to touch the contact list. So what they want you to work on this, they want you to create a copy of the query. Okay. So how do you copy? I think we are all very good at copying, right? When you are a student for a tertiary institution for some time, you are very good at copying. For me also, I'm an IT person, so I'm very good at copying. So you need to copy the query. Very simple. Just go to the contact list, right click, copy, copy. Then you just right click on the contact list here again, or the query again, then you paste it. Okay. Then you have a copy of contact list. This is the default name. But the name, what we want to change it to, over here it mentioned, it says that save the query as venue by state. So this will be the query name. So I will put venue by state here, I click OK. So I have two exactly the same query, but I'm going to modify the venue by state. So I double click the venue by state, go to the design view. Okay. then I will make the changes. So the first thing that I want you to change is this thing, the ascending order here is wrong. So it should be sorted based on the suburb ascending. So I want you to make these changes. Just now the criteria for the V state specify that its VIC is still the same. So make sure that these two are changed, and then we work on venue by state, we rename it. Okay? So I'll pause here. I'll wait for everyone to get ready to this stage first. Anyway, we specify the criteria VIC, you sort of VIC. Okay. Okay, now most of you are done. Okay, so now the next steps here. Okay, it says that now in the criteria for the V state, which means that just now earlier on we have typed in manually the VIC. So it is based on the VIC manual criteria that we key in here. Now they want you to type in this whole thing, including the square bracket. Okay? Enter the state of venue you wish to view. The square bracket in the criteria basically tells you that there is an input. So the square bracket that we specify in the criteria field, right, it will pop up an input box or dialog box. And anything in between the square bracket here, the enter the state of the venue you wish to view, right, will be the prompt, the message that show up on the pop-up box. Okay, so we want to enter this thing instead of specify VIC at the criteria here. Now I want you to replace this whole thing with the square bracket. Okay, enter the state that you wish to view. Okay. Here, this whole thing. So remember the square bracket. The square bracket indicates that it will be a pop-up window with an input box that you can key in the criteria. And anything in between the square bracket is the message that will show on the pop-up box. After you enter this, you click run. You can see this pop-up box. There's an input box here. On top of the input box, enter the state of venue you wish to view. So over here, I can key in VIC. Click OK. It will show me all state under VIC. Okay. I can run this again. Double click. Okay. No, go to design view. I can run this again. And now I put NSW. I click OK. It will show me those states that are under NSW. So this query becomes dynamic. It depends on the user entry for the state. But in our design, it is actually just a prompt to ask for input. Okay? So that is cover this whole part here. Done. Okay? So now you have learned two different query. One is a select query, the other one is a dynamic. Dynamic, remember, is a square bracket. Okay? So next thing, okay, in the assignment, in the worksheet here, is now I want you to work on this query. This query is for the phone numbers. So try to create this on your own, right? The criteria is generate a query that you can display phone numbers for the customer and the venues. And you need to make use of the dynamic query. So you need to use a square bracket and for different customer. So try to create this, right? This is a dynamic query. So try to work on this. This is your exercise now. You need to create a new query. Create a new one. Đang đấy. Đang đấy. Okay. Okay, so quite a number of you have done it already. So some are still trying out. So don't worry, I will do it one time. Okay, you can check. So I'll do it everything from the beginning. So for the phone number, I need to create a query. So I go back to what I have here. I just need to create a new query. So when you create query, we choose query design. You click on the query design, we have a new query here. And I'm interested in which tables. I need the information from customer and venue tables. So I will add these two tables in the query design, the customer, add it in, the venue, add it in. Okay, so I expand it so I can see all the field here. This one I expand, I can see all the field here. Okay, so for each of the tables, I required some of the field. So these are the field that I need, or I want to display it in the result. So I will need C name for the customer table, so double click C first, double click C last, and then C direct. So I need 4 fields from the customer tables. For the venue table, I need the venue, I need the V contact, I need the V phone. Okay? So these are the query, okay, the field that I want to display from this query. The next criteria is make this dynamic based on customer name. So in the customer name field, I need to make it a dynamic query. Dynamic query, I need to use a square bracket. And of course, you need to prompt the user what to enter. So I'll go to the query here under the customer name here. I need to put the criteria. So I open square bracket. I just put a enter customer name. I just make it a simple one. Okay? Meaningful but simple one. Enter customer name. This is a dynamic query. It will pop up a window, a dialog box for you to enter, and it will prompt this word enter customer name. So I click run. It will show me this box, but what customer name? Actually, I forgot already. So we have 3 to try. So arrow bar private limited. So let me try this. Arrow bar private limited. I click OK. Yes, it will turn out the report or the result based on customer arrow bar private limited. You check this. Okay. You can go back to the design view when run again. Now the next one, I want to churn out report based on the lager bar. Okay, so I go to the query here. I enter the lager bar. It will show me all those that belong to lager bar. I run one more time. The next one is a beer of Asia. Beers of Asia. So I can run this query, enter the customer name, beers of Asia, run, it will show me those that belong to beers of Asia. So that's about it. Okay, the 2 different query that you have just learned how to create this query. Okay. Nothing. Yeah, yeah. Because this is a dynamic query. Sometimes you enter this one, you may be some other things. So anything is a function. You need to enter the years of Asia, right? You said that you don't want to do that, you want to go to the table and then you just use the. Then that is the purpose of doing this query. This query I just want to show those that under this comes to the
It may not be this one, it may be some other thing. I'm going to show all those other PIs. This is database. Yeah, the whole thing. So you can say that it's filtered, but this is a database query. So database query basically, right, they show you just based on your criteria. Just like that. It's not like when you work on data analysis, like Excel. You know. Yeah. No, you will show this. It's the same result, it's the same result. Correct. But what you did is not the query. So I want to show you the query that by doing the query. The result is the same, but the process is different. I want you to learn the process of query the data.
Okay. So now we are done with this. We move on to the next one. Okay. The next one is more interesting. So the word more interesting also means that it's harder. Calculation query. So we have done dynamic query, we have done selection query. This calculation query, we have to calculate the total cost. In our database tables and the records, there is nothing called total cost. This total cost is calculated. The total cost is calculated based on these three fields here. The MC cost, which is in the maintenance contract. The TT initial cost, the tap initial cost, which is in the tap type table. Okay? And the TT installation, meaning the tap installation here. So the total cost particular field is calculated based on these three information. So we are now performing a calculation query. The rest of the things are the same, where we create a query, add the tables, add the field. So let's just do that now. Okay? Download WLA 2-3. So now we work on this set of data. So these two queries is done. So we create the query by query design. We need 5 tables. The customer table, the maintenance contract table, the tabs, the tab type, and the venue. So these are the tables that we need. Okay, we can expand this. Venue up. Tab. Okay, the maintenance contract, the tab type. So these are the 5 tables that we need. And of course, each table there are different fields that we want to display. So for customer table, we only need the customer name. So we double click, the customer name will be bring down to the display field here. The venue table, we need the venue, the V address, the V suburb, the V state, the VP code. The tab table, we don't need anything. Basically, the tab table is a linkage to the rest. Okay? The maintenance table, we need the MC cost. So you double click. The type, tab type is the initial cost, double click. Installation cost, double click. So we have all the field needed here. We can just run the query first. When we run the query, these are all the fields that we have selected just now. And I missed out one, right? Oh my goodness. I think I missed out one particular field. TT type. Okay, let me put the TT type back. TT type. Okay. But the TT type, I need to shift it. So let me shift it in before TT installation cost. So this MC cost, TT type, TT initial cost, and TT installation cost. We run the query. These are all the fields. Okay? But there's still one more that we didn't put it in here, which is the total cost. The total cost is a calculated field. So it should show somewhere here in the last column, where this last column should show the information that is the calculated result from contract cost 1,000 plus initial cost 8,000 plus installation cost 1,800. It should show 10,800 here, but we haven't inserted that field. So I'm going to show you in a while. So let's go back to the design view. So we only select the field that we need, but we should put something here to perform the calculation, which is the last field. Okay, how do we get the calculated field? Right. So you can click on the field here, because we are going to put it in the last one. So click on the field here, and on top there is a builder. You click on the builder, a dialog box will pop up. Okay, so in this expression builder, yeah, we are creating some expression. Expression meaning the calculation of the formula. So you go to the WLA 2-3, you expand this menu, you go to the tables, you expand this menu. The calculation for the total cost is first, from maintenance table, the MC cost. So you double click on the maintenance contract cost, so it will go up. Plus, so you enter this arithmetic operator, plus, which is the next one, is under tab type, the table, tab initial cost. Double click. Okay, sorry. Yes, I forgot plus, then double click initial cost, plus also the installation cost. So you can see on top here, the expression is the MC cost plus TT initial cost plus TT installation cost. So this is the expression, which means that in this particular field, it will perform the calculation here. We click OK. So it shows expression 1, EXPR1. When we click run, now you can check at this particular field here, 10,800. This is a calculated result from the contract cost, initial cost, and the installation cost. Okay? So let me go back to the design view. Let me show you this. Some of you actually just probably couldn't follow. So under the builder. Okay, so you look at the data table here. The data table, the data sheet view here, EXPR, not very meaningful. We want to put it as total cost. So how do we change this? So you go back to the design view, under the EXPR here, you can just right click. There's a property, you click on it. Under the caption, we put total cost. And actually there's a formatting. We should change the format to currency, but just now you already show currency. Because Microsoft product try to be smart, I'm calculating the sum from the MC cost, PT initial cost, and the installation cost. All these three fields are currency format. So by default, the results will be in currency format. So it is already in currency format. Just in case that if your result is not in currency format, you can choose the formatting here, choose currency, and the caption here put total cost. Done. Now let's run the query one more time, and you can see here on top this is total cost. Okay, and it's in currency format because just now the three so-called source is already in currency format, so the result is also in currency format. So click on this. So what we did just now is the property. Right click and choose properties. Okay, so we are done. Yeah, you need to save the query. Save the query as establishment cost. So saving the query is the same steps. So go back to your query here. Now you right click on the query tab here. Right click, save. You just put the query name, establishment cost, click OK, done. We have one query saved. Okay. The rest are done. I've done everything. Yeah. Okay, we finished that calculation query. Go to the builder again. Builder. Okay, most of you are done. Okay, let's move on. So you have learned the third way of calculating a query. Next one. Okay, to create a query. Next one, we are going to look at between dates query. Actually, this between dates query can also apply on between two numbers, meaning that given a range. Alright. So the rest are similar, but what we want to create the query is a dynamic query. So over here, you can see the criteria has a new command, which is called between and. And then we actually ask the user to input some value and the second value. So the command that actually is new in this particular exercise is the between and. So basically between a value and the other value. So that's why we call it a between dates. So we are going to enter the first date and then enter the second date. So any data that match the criteria between these two dates will be shown in the tables, the result table. And there are two more things here, which is the scheduled and the completed, yes or no. Later we'll come back to this one. So this one is a special criteria for the scheduled and the completed field. So download WLA 2-4 to work on this. So let's download WLA 2-4. Okay, so let's create the query, and this time round we are interested in 4 table customer venue tag service. Customer venue tag service. So we have 4 different fields, 4 different tables here. Okay. And for each table, we need different fields. Okay. So for customer table, we just need the customer name. Venue, we need the venue, address, suburb, state, and postal code. For the tabs, we need the asset number. For the service, we need these 4: service ID, as date, schedule, and completed. So this is just to get all the fields that we need into the design. For the service table, we can see the scheduled and completed field, there's only 2 values, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So basically this is the design that we did earlier. Actually, the answer did earlier is we choose a data type, yes, no, yes, no. So the criteria now is specifying that, okay, for the scheduled, the criteria should be yes. The completed, the criteria should be no. Right? This is specified in the question here. Yes, no. For these 2 fields. Okay? So scheduled yes, completed no. So we put these 2 first. Scheduled yes, completed no. Okay, then the more challenging part is this, the between and for the date. Okay, so under the field as date, so here the criteria, so I'll key the command between, then square bracket. So I just put a simple one, first date and last date. Right. So of course you can type longer for the prompt, but for me it's just for simple showing. I'll just put this between and, between first date and last date. So this first date square bracket here, it will pop up an input box for you to enter the first date. Last date, it will pop up another input box for you to enter the last date. And the between and, while this is a command, will run the query based on the whole table here. Those that are between, particularly this field here, between the date is specified, and it will show you the result. So over here, it did mention that, yeah, the schedule, the date, it should be from the 1st of March to 2016, and then 30th of March 2016. Okay, we want to save the query as monthly schedule, monthly service schedule. So we can run the query. Table service, sorry, oh yeah, sorry, this one has to be closed. Okay, let me close it. Okay, let us run the query. First date is of 1st of March 2016. Last date 30th of March 2016, and it will show you the result here. See, 27 March 2016, only BS of Asia rising sun. So that's how we work on the between and. So as I mentioned, it can be between 2 dates. Of course, the smaller one should be in front, the bigger one should be in the back. Then it can be between 2 numbers.
Yeah, the one already. Okay. So yes, some of you, if you didn't generate the correct answer, right, please check your date on your computer. If the date on your computer is month, day, year, you have to enter month, day, year in the input. Otherwise, it will generate the wrong result. For my one is day, month, year. So that's why I enter in there. Okay? Yeah. So how do you know whether your computer, if based on your computer, you check your computer here below. Mine is day, month, year. So you enter the information is day, month, year. If your setting here is day, month, year, then you have to enter the other way. Okay? Yeah. So this is the between and. So as I mentioned, in your test, you are expected to know how to generate query. So you will be given a data file. Okay? Then the question may ask you to generate a query. Then there is some option with the answer. So which means that after you generate a query, you get the result. Based on the result, you choose the best answer. Okay? So the query is the best way to test it. No need to ask you to create a table. Yeah? Or it may ask you to say that, oh, please navigate through the table and see which particular data type is wrong. Then you'll see, and which data type should it be, and then you choose the correct answer. Okay? So remember, when you need to practice, you need to download the software. We are done with all the queries. Okay? We will move on to reports. So we have learned how to create the tables, how to create a form, which is user interface for the tables. We created query. Next, we are going to learn how to create reports. Reports and form are pretty similar, but report is actually a result. Okay? It generated with a user interface fixed. Report usually are something that we can print. Form we cannot print because why? Form is based on per record. The report is based on the summary. So we can actually generate a printed list. Let's say, for example, you can generate a printed list of customer. This is based on the selection query. Based on the data tables, customer table. We can also create a report or a printed list of the total cost. So just now, we have looked through our data table. There is no total cost field for all the tables. This total cost is calculated based on the information from different tables, different fields. So it is actually generated or calculated in the query. So we can actually generate report based on a query result. But form can only be done on a table. Okay? So form mainly used for navigation and the report is to show a so-called printed result. Right. So how do we create a report? Let's work on this. Download WLA 2-5. Okay, so we have all the query, forms, table all done. Now we create a report. So how do we create a report? Actually very simple. And you need to create anything, just go to the create tab. You can create table here, query here, form here, and the report here. And when we create report, we use a report wizard. And you realize that when we create things, right, form, we use form wizard. Report, we use report wizard. Only the query, we don't use a query wizard. We use a query design. Because query design is much easier. There is a graphical user interface and we can click, drag. We don't need to use a wizard. Okay? So report, we use a report wizard. You click on report wizard, yes, they will ask you what to base on. So this first list, we want to create it from customer table.
So we get the information or we get the data field from customer table. So in that case, the source of our data is from, you click on the drop down, there's whole list. It will list down all the tables and query that we have here, but we are getting the information from customer tables. There are two arrows here. If you click the double arrow, it will include all the fields. So I don't want to include all the fields. I only have a few selected fields here, which is a name, phone, first, last, mobile, direct, email. Hopefully I can remember. Name, phone, first, last, mobile, direct, email. Okay. Name, phone, first, last, mobile, direct, email. Okay, so these are the fields that I want to show on a report. Then you click next. There's nothing that we want to group. The grouping one we will do it later. So we don't want to group in any way. So we will do the grouping later. So in this case, we will click next. Are we going to sort based on any field? No, we are not going to sort based on any field. So we'll click next. Okay, so the report layout format, yeah, we can see that here they want a tabular layout. Okay, so tabular layout, and name the report as contact list. So we'll choose tabular layout. Okay, but I choose landscape here. So later I can do some adjustments. So I choose landscape here and click next. The title for the report is contact list. I can preview the report first. I click finish. Yes, the report is generated. Now see, it's a report printable format. It's a list. Okay. Yeah, some will say that, hey, yeah, it's just a table, but actually different. You didn't show every field. You only show a selected field. Then some will say that, hey, the phone number I think is wrong because one digit is missing. This is where you will go into the close the print preview, go to the design view, which is here, to make the adjustment. So I say the customer name is too long, so I can select this, adjust it, make it a little bit smaller. Then the font, I can make it a bit larger. Okay, so these are the so-called aesthetic part. Okay, where you can adjust to make the form looks nicer, right? And if it's done, you go to the report view. Now you can see the phone number with all the 8 digits. So you can do the adjustment here. You can change the color and so on. If you go to the design view, you can see that there's a header, there's a footer. Header is for the entire report, footer is for the entire report. So I can actually insert another label here. I say done by Handsome Co. There's a page header, there's a page footer. The page header, what we have here is actually the unbound field. The unbound field, I can change it to customer name. But the bound field here is the detail, meaning that each of this is getting the records from the database, the data table. So this will be every record. Then the page footer, the now meaning that today's date and the page number. So I make a little bit of changes here. I can also change the color of this, the font. I can change the color. All right. Then I go back to the design view here. I will go and preview it in the report view. You can see contact list change the color. This one I change the customer name. I put my done by Handsome Co here at the bottom. Alright. So the rest are the aesthetic part. But most importantly is you know how to generate the report and how to adjust the field. But of course we won't ask you how to adjust the field and all these things in the test. This aesthetic part, that's why I need to just show you how it works, and then we're not going to spend too much time on that. Okay, we are done with the report. This is the description that I just went through with you. The bound and unbound part and the calculated field. Later I'll show you the calculated field. This is after you redesign it, it will look something like that. But I didn't spend time on the aesthetic part, okay? Because this one you can slowly play with it, okay? Okay, so the next thing here is about a calculated field. So similar to our query, the total cost is calculated. There is no such data in the data table. And also in the report, we can also create a calculated field. How do we do a calculation? We can do a subtotal. Later I'll show you how it can be done. Okay? So now we will move on to the next one, and we are actually working on this calculated control. So download WLA2-6. Okay, download this data file. Okay, you see the report here, the customer list, very nice, right? Okay, because you can slowly spend time to do this. Aesthetic things or all this user interface one depends. In some individuals spend 1 minute, some probably 1 hour, some 1 day, some even 1 year. Okay, so yeah, it's time consuming. We're not going to do that. So we want to create a new report. So go to report wizard. Okay, create report wizard. Next thing here, it says that now create a report, right? They want you to get the data from the establishment cost query. In the establishment cost, right, we have calculated the total cost, right? So we now getting the data from the query result to show in the report. So we go to query establishment cost. Okay, and these are the fields that we are interested in: CNAME, venue, TT, type, and total cost. Venue, name, venue, type, and total cost. Remember, the total cost is a calculated field. Okay, so we're interested in name, venue, PT, and total cost. Only these 4 fields. You click next. Okay. Now come to grouping. They want you to group by CNAME. Okay. So basically, we know that every customer can operate more than 1 venue. Each venue will install with a particular type. So which means that we may have one customer for many venues. So over here, I want to group by customer. So under the customer, I will have all the venue run by the customer. So in this case here, I will group by the customer name. So here I will choose, what do you want to do some grouping? Yes, which is a CNAME. So I choose CNAME. So per customer for all the venue. Okay, so we click next. Now the sorting. The sorting part it mentioned that sort by venue. Okay, so you go and choose sort by venue, and the summary options. Summary option is based on per group. So here it mentioned that based on the summary option, we want to sum the total cost. So I want to per group, what is the total cost? So basically we get a subtotal, right? So here, summary option, total cost, I want to sum it. You can choose average, minimum, max, depends on your criteria. Okay. Next one, nothing it mentioned, so we can choose here. I can choose detail and summary and click OK. Click next. And the layout will be in block and it says portrait. So let's still use portrait. So here it mentioned you use a block layout and portrait orientation. And title the report to total cost to hammer wine of in-stock tab. Okay, so I click next. Yes, change the title. Title is total cost to hammer wines of in-store tab. Preview the report. You click finish. It's done. Now in this report, because just now I choose detail and summary, so that's why over here you can see this. But on the right hand side, they say, oh my goodness, here all are hex, I cannot see all these things. So that's where you go to the design view and make some amendment. So for me, I can actually expand this part so that it can show more information. Okay, and the total cost here, I can adjust the width so that it show, it have enough width to show all the data here. All right. Okay, once I'm done with this, I go and check the report. Yeah, I got this. Okay, so let's say for Bavarian Beer Garden, this is a customer name. The venue that's run by this Bavarian Beer Garden is Brighton, Prahan Royal Beers. And this is the total cost for each of the venue. And this is a subtotal for these three venues. And in the subtotal, you don't see that, hey, there is no formatting. So what we can do, we go back to the design view. Oh yeah, the subtotal and the grand total. You can right click subtotal, the properties, you click on the properties. The third one, format, you can choose the format to currency. Done. Grand total, this is a grand total. The grand total, we do the same thing. You go to right click, you go to the property, you choose the format to currency. Okay, done. You go and view the report view. Now it is in currency. So the grand total is calculated. The subtotal is calculated. So in the report, we can also add a calculated field as long as you have a group. So for our case here is we group by per customer and for all the venue run by the customer. We are done. Which one?
From the grand total.
Then total is all here, then the format. The format set to currency. Right click on the sum text box control under the format, select currency. Yeah. So let me go back to the design. Yeah, just click on this one, right click, property, you just choose the format. Okay? So right here, there's a report header, page header, there's a customer name header and so on. There are more detail here, different section. Okay, so that's all the exercise that we have.
for Microsoft Access. We spent how many? 3, right? 2 or 3 for Microsoft Access. But it will be more, much more useful when we use Microsoft itself. So for the Microsoft Access, this is what you need for the test. Okay, I know as a lecturer student say that we learn for the test, okay, and it's something useful. But because of the limitation of time, so for Access I will cover up to this point. Okay, so let's go for a break. After a break, we come back. We will continue with other things. So please come back by 1:55.